Hey, Shalom. Kal halalim la Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom to the prophets of that body, and shalom to the 144,000 and one third. May peace and blessings and the spirit of endurance be upon you and your households as we approach the end, sooner rather than later. Okay? As you know, okay? Well, if you don't know already, what what you've been doing with your life. If you don't know that, the fact that we're at the tail end of the Esau Edom's rulership. Okay. Second Ezra 6 verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, the world is not going to be destroyed. Our rulership is coming next. Jacob is who? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians of Negro or Indian descent, native Indian descent, paternally, as well as the Israelite foreigners that are scattered to the four corners of the earth. Okay, Deuteronomy 28 verse 64. All right, the second Exodus, Isaiah 11:11 and 11 and 12, Hosea 1 and 10, we're the largest nation on the planet Earth. We are everywhere. Wherever you see greatness, you see somebody thinking, that guy sings like a black man. That guy sounds like a Negro. That guy moves like a Negro. Man, look at him move. Look at him, look at him doing those backflips. Look at him doing them spin kicks. Look at him do that martial art showmanship, whatever, right? Wherever you see greatness, pop locking, break dancing, innovation, invention, and it's got that real Jake. It's really Jacobized. It's really got that, that spirit, that Israelite touch to it, because we are the former of all things. That person is an Israelite. So our greatness is sometimes shown through our, uniqueness that the Yahweh Hashem Yashar has blessed his people. All right. But that uniqueness is going to shine even more with the elect. All right. Which are chosen on this side to make it through into the chariots of Yahweh Hashem Yashar. And the chariots are the so-called UFOs, IFOs, spaceships. All right. That don't have green lizard men. There's so-called black and brown men in there with afros. When I say black, okay, I'm just saying that so you understand that, yeah, these men look like Negroes or even native Indian men. But otherwise, we're not black. We're different shades of brown, okay? There's no such thing as white. There's different shades of red. All right? Now we got that out of the way. I was trying to find this in the mainstream news, okay? It seems like there's nothing on it at the moment. But it says here, Sundown Town in Georgia. I could be wrong, but I did Google it, so I guess there was no major news on Fox or was it WION or any of the other type of news channels. But this Jake here, right? His channel's name is Introvert Rockstar. He's got this information, and I'm gonna play it, and I hope that Jake don't mind. I'm not making no money out of this. I'm just emphasizing on what's already being said. All right, these curses are coming upon our enemies. How many black towns? We always talk about Rosewood and Black Wall Street. There were hundreds, there were thousands of so-called black and brown towns, Hispanic towns, native Indian towns, black towns that were way, way, way better than any kind of so-called white town. All right, but they were destroyed and flooded, and ponds and lakes and rivers were built across it. Okay, they don't want you to live. They don't want you to be in their neighborhoods. They don't want you. They don't want you to be. They don't want you to be smiling. They don't want. They don't want you to breathe. And when they say to you, N word, get up out of our neighborhoods, get up out of our sight. We do for ourselves because we're Israelites. We can do for ourselves. Okay, what do these crackers do? And the powers that be, the American government, they send their their soldiers and their armies and their troops to what? Like they did Black Wall Street, to bomb it. They use their World War I veterans to bomb Black Wall Street. Okay? And other black towns. Okay, we won't bother nobody. Okay? They don't leave you alone no matter what you do. You stay away from them, they don't leave you alone. You work near them, they don't leave you alone. They don't want you to exist. They want you to be, because Esau, Edom, especially these low-level crackers don't have much. So the only thing that they have to make them feel better that they're somebody is, they always say to themselves, at least I'm not a ninja. At least I'm not a nigger. Well, they're going to say that. Why? because this is their rulership. But I bet they're saying now, oh, I wish I was a nigger now. I bet they say that now, especially when a lot of these crackers are being, what's the word? Being convicted. Because Hebrews 4:12, this word is sharper than any two-edged sword, right? Okay? It pierces the flesh. It convicts you. And a lot of these crackers are convicted. They say, like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan? Yeah, Joe Rogan said that, he met up with the Israelites once. A video is floating around. Saints of Jersey. Yeah. The brother from Saints of Jersey made a video. And Joe Rogan said that, he was told by the Hebrew Israelites that he's not white. And he said, oh, that was a relief. I think Joe Rogan is Italian and Irish. I think he's a Jake as well. He's got that rough around edges, how Irish Jakes are. They descend from black men, paternally, father's side, right? A lot of these people, some of these so-called crackers that look like white people are finding out that they're Israelites. They actually are relieved that they're not white. But the ones that everybody wants to go. Who what's popular at the time when it was white man domination, Esau domination. Them running the show. Jake was trying to pass for being light-skinned, or if they had like a tan skin and straight hair, I'm Sicilian or Italian. Even the Sicilians and Italians were called N-words too, but they were kind of passable because Italy is so-called Europe and, Michelangelo and all that shit. So they would equate them to that, Italy, the Pope and all that. So they'll say, okay, yeah, they're kind of passable. They're from Europe. They're not too dark. They're not too light. Some of them are dark, but they've got family members that are light, so they kind of let you in their neighborhoods, but there was still racism against them, But, back then, nobody wanted to be a ninja. But now, everyone's finding out about the truth, that the true Israelites, are so-called blacks and Hispanics. Crackers are probably running, are hoping that that they're Israelites also, because the world that's coming next on this planet Earth and beyond our rulership is not going to be so favorable towards the heathen, especially the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. Okay? And now, as mentioned, going back to the point of these crackers destroying our towns, all right, now the curses are coming upon them. If you've noticed with these hurricanes and floods, for the most part, even though Esau is still destroying us and our people and our towns and our neighborhoods, okay, all right, with the alphabet gangs at CIA and all that kind of shit, FBI, right? Okay, they're still doing it. But if you notice with these natural occurrences, with these fires and all that and floods, for the most part, they usually hit Edomite areas. Hurricanes hit Edomite areas. All right. Jake gets hit too, but not as much as a so-called white man. Right. But now these curses are coming upon these devils. All right. Deuteronomy 30 verse 7. All right. Let me just play the video first, man. I want to play about 3 minutes of it. Or just under 3 minutes.
Hey, you already know on this channel, we hold racist Caucasian people accountable, because if we don't, who will? And if you don't like it, get to stepping, because it ain't gonna stop. Now run the tape.
Turning now to Georgia, where those record-breaking wildfires are still burning into a second week now, despite a little bit of rain overnight. CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry has made his way to Waynesville, Georgia for
Okay, it was on Main
Street tonight. Skylar, good evening. What do you see?
Hey, Tony, good to see you as always. Now, county officials say that the fire that has broken out here in the county has grown significantly over the course of the last several days in Brantley County, so much so that firefighters from as far away as Utah and Oregon are headed this way to try to get an upper hand.
New video shows the scale and scope of the devastation in South Georgia as fires now burn into a second week. This one near the town of Waynesville doubled in size over the weekend, extending a trail of misery and destruction.
That was my house.
Please bear with me. Oh my God, here we go again.
My house.
This is what's left of David and Christina Carter's home.
It was devastating. I mean,
it was like numb at first because you're like, this is a joke, right?
It's like, this was my house for 10 years.
Were you all able to save anything? Or?
Nothing.
The Carters' home, among at least 120 so far, gone. Powerful winds and extreme drought are fueling these two major fires. South Georgia is under extreme or exceptional drought. Waynesville has received just a half-inch of rain this month, less than 1/8 of its normal rainfall.
We looked at all the records going back historically with the state. We believe that these two fires have created the most lost homes ever in the history of our state.
The Carters say they were fortunate to have insurance. Much can be replaced. And yet, despite grabbing documents and other essentials as they fled,
Please bear with me. Yeah, I mean, I must have missed. I did look for it on online on major news channels.
The rush of getting everything. We left our wedding album. We've been married 25 years. There's stuff that we'll never get back.
Waynesville, Georgia enforced its sundown status through a deliberate racial monoculture where safety for black travelers ended at sunset. This wasn't always written into law. It was carved into the landscape through local intimidation and a total lack of safe harbor. For generations, this engineered isolation transformed the town into a closed, all-white pocket maintained by the chilling threat of custom over code. Make that make sense. And in the words of Ray Charles, Georgia.
Now, these sundown towns, that wasn't just one. There's thousands of sundown towns in America, and a lot of so-called black truckers that do deliveries in these towns sometimes don't come back. All right? Some of them have not come back. And a lot of black truckers are even probably is mentioned to them by so-called good Samaritans, by other Edomite-looking people who could be Israelite foreigners that look white. Just say to them, to get out of town because, they're so-called black and it's not safe for them to be, in this part of town at a specific time, to leave by sundown. So these sundown towns are everywhere. And numerous so-called black, Hispanic, native Indian, women and children, old people have been lynched, deleted by the sheriffs and officers and coppers that are there, that are all part of the KKK. All right. Basically, the KKK, you can't see their face, right? Like these ICE agents, very similar. All right. And they hide their faces, but then afterwards they take their uniforms off, right? They take their uniforms off. Then what do? They put their badge on. They put their doctor's outfit on. They put their nurse's outfit on. They put their, whatever kind of fireman's outfit on. They probably start the fires being around, Jake Towns, Jake Holmes back in the day. They're all undercover. Like you got you got so-called Superman who plays Clark Kent. These devils, they play devils with their masks on, right? Evil people with their masks on, but they take their masks and uniforms and KKK outfits and ICE outfits off to put on police uniforms and suits and shirts and ties to try and parade around like they're, so-called good people. Okay, here's AI overview what Sundown Town is. Now we've seen that Sundown Town, which is a prelude. We saw it on fire, right? Yahweh Hashem is going to burn America with fire. That's just a little prelude to these crackers, man. All that honky couple saying, we've been married for 25 years. They had a short amount of time to grab what they could. This is the same way so-called black people, going back to Rosewood, Black Wall Street, there's thousands of more towns, of course, right? They had, they didn't even have time to grab their things. You crackers came and took all their wealth, their mansions, their beautiful homes, the dresses and clothes and meticulously made custom outfits of Jake, or the suits that Jake had, or the shoes, the hats, the top hats, the silk shirts, the jewelry, the colognes. You crackers didn't even know what to do with cologne. You Edomites don't wear it today. You stink. You don't know about showering and meticulous and gentlemanly like behavior and how a lady's supposed to behave. You people learned that from us. Even a knife and fork, had to pick that up and utilize that. I mean, if you watch a cracker use a knife and fork in a restaurant, some of them don't even know how to use a knife and fork. They didn't realize that the fork goes in the left hand and the knife goes in the right. They don't even know these basic things. They learn all that from us. Okay? We didn't even have time to grab our things. These crackers still had a few seconds before the fire burnt all this shit up. And this is going to keep happening again and again and again to all of you Edomites, man. All your your sundown towns. You're going to get got. All right? Now, I did try and Google this town. What was it called again? Waynesville, right? In Georgia. Right? I did try and Google it. It wasn't on the net. I mean, maybe because they're trying to sort of mask the news, and so a lot of people don't get, connecting the dots together and all that. Maybe it was, showed up once and then it wasn't really talked about, because I only found out about this through that Jake's site, his video channel, when it said that Sundown Town destroyed. All right, so I couldn't find it on Google, but nevertheless, I'll have a little look now to see if it's there. CBS, right? Now, sundown towns were all white municipalities or neighborhoods in the United States, most prevalent between 1890 and the 1960s, and is still functional to this day. And a lot of white people from America, from different parts of America, from UK, from different parts of Europe, moved to America, to these towns at that time, to take advantage of their so-called paleness, their so-called whiteness, so they could have that feeling of authority. All right, the same way a lot of honkies from the UK moved to South Africa during the apartheid days, so they can have that feeling of superiority, so they don't have to live around people of color. It's not good. Don't get it twisted. We don't want to be around these devils. Okay, they never leave us alone. As mentioned, they destroyed our towns, and the Lord Yahweh Shemeshah is destroying their towns. Okay, and it's only going to get worse for these devils, because the curses are coming upon these motherfuckers, man. That intentionally excluded black people and other minorities through discriminatory laws, intimidation, events, often requiring them to leave by sunset. Now, if they didn't leave by sunset, you're driving through, you're lost, you're looking for a hotel to stay for the night, you're with your wife and children. You know, like that movie, The Green Book? All right, Jacob invented the Green Book. All right, I think it's called The Green Book or The Green Diary or something like that, where they've invented a book, right, which is a book specifically for so-called black people, tribe of Judah in America, all right, or other people that will call themselves Negro or black at the time, or even probably more than likely Native Indians and Hispanics too, that use that to go through the safe parts of America to use and utilize black hotels, motels, black restaurants, cafes, shops and stores for refreshments, so they don't get caught up in the danger of being lynched or graped or deleted by these crackers. And even when they did follow that particular the particular booklet of where all the safe places were, all the safe havens were, they still got chased by Edomites. All right, because a lot of these people are told to leave by sundown. If not, these coppers, these sheriffs say, "Oh, you better leave by sundown." Now, if you got 10 miles to go to leave the town, well, you know what these crackers will do? They'll set roadblocks and knock down a tree so you can't leave. You know why? They can say, "Oh yeah, that nigger cannot leave. Let me go and get changed." They're gonna go home, get changed, put their fucking 90s and then their pointy hats on and cover their faces, and then they want to burn and murder ninja, lynch a nigger. You know, and if the Jake got a fine-looking woman, they might even grape her and delete the children. That's the kind of shit that they pull, and they do that to this day, and it's all brushed under the rug. All right, because they're townsfolk, they're mayors, they're politicians, they're doctors, they're lawyers. You know, like you got these horror movies where, you know, like that they have old school horror movies where a whole family moves in and then they get brainwashed, or they get something happens to them, you know, like body snatchers or some shit, and everybody, you know, gets changed. Something happens to them, but all the whole town's in on it, and you're the new family, and you don't know about it. You're yet to find out about the weird town. These sundown towns the same way. They all know about it. They're all in on it. All right, to this day. All right. Okay. Key facts about sundown towns. Sundown towns. Definition, origin. Name for signs posted at city limits threatening black individuals. These towns aim to maintain all white populations. Widespread prevalence. While common in the South, many existed in the Midwest and North. Illinois had a high concentration, including areas that formerly forced out black residents. Methods of exclusion. Beyond signs, exclusion was maintained via local ordinances, police intimidation, or threats from residents. Okay. Targeted groups, while predominantly anti-black, some towns also excluded. Okay, we don't care about J-ish people. Okay, they can still take their black hats and you know, shave their beards and wear a suit and tie and change their last names. They can still get through. All right, they're not our people, unless they're Israelite foreigners. But targeted groups were predominantly anti-black, Well, Mexican, American, and Native American people. Basically, anybody that looked different, all right? Lasting impact. These towns contributed to modern segregation and lower residential diversity, all right? Okay. What's it called again? Waynesville, right? Waynesville. Town burned. CBS. Okay. I think I found it. I didn't know what the town's name was. That's what I missed out on. Oh, shit. This is Florida and Georgia wildfires, April 24th, 2026. Yeah, just about a week ago. Oh, this is it. Is this it? Well, one second. Let me find something better. Oh, here we are. Let's find MSN. It's weird. It's like, usually it's just blatantly there. This kind of news. But, all right, let's get on MSN. Okay, ABC News. 1,000 homes threatened by 2 major southeast wildfires. All right. And obviously damage has been done. This is from a freaking week. When does it go? Yeah, 1 week ago. All right. So at least 1,000 homes are being threatened by 2 major wildfires in Georgia that have burnt more than 34,000 acres combined, according to officials. Obviously, we've seen the damage. Look at that. What does that look like to you? That looks like a movie after a nuclear holocaust, right? This is a prelude what's going to happen to America. You Edomites are in trouble, man. All right. Georgia governor, more than likely, Brian Kemp declared a state of emergency of 91 counties in South Georgia. All right. Two major wildfires burning southeast Georgia are Highway 982 fire in Brantley County. How many highways did they put over Israelite towns, so-called black and brown towns? Yeah. Now your highway's on fire. Your highway's on fire, Esau. The 2 major wildfires burning in southeast Georgia are the Highway 82 fire in Brantley County and the Pinelands Road fire in nearby Clinch County, officials said. The Highway 82 fire, which started on Monday, had grown to roughly 5,000 acres and had destroyed at least 87 homes, County Manager Joey Kaysen said at a news conference on Wednesday the fire was 15% contained as of Thursday afternoon, officials said. No, fuck you, devils, man. Let me see. Any more good news here? Hundreds of homes are in danger, being burnt. Good. FEMA has sent some assets or personnel to the area. Fuck them. Hopefully they get burnt too. Pinelands Road fire started over the weekend on mostly private forest land. Private forest land, with more than likely stole from Gad or Jake or Judah. Officials said it grew from about 9,000 acres on Wednesday morning to more than 29,600 acres. This is a prelude, man, to America being on fire. The fire was threatening 64 homes. Okay, cool. And you know what was beautiful about it too? You saw who was interviewing that couple. Oh, we've been married 25 years. We couldn't even grab our wedding. What do you call it? They couldn't even grab their wedding album, right? They couldn't grab their memories. But it's over for them. And the fact that they had a so-called black man, a reporter, right, interviewing them, because Jake's gonna leave that news segment and probably go home to his white woman that he's married to, who's probably super fine, or probably got a girlfriend, a so-called white woman, and he's probably gonna go back to his meticulously beautiful home or apartment. Him being a reporter on his good salary, because if you've noticed, even Jake's in the world, right, are doing all right. They ain't doing too bad compared to these crackers. These crackers are all falling by the wayside, man, one by one. You know, like you spray bug spray in the air, you start seeing these bugs drop, or you start seeing these bugs, get enticed by that glowing. What do you call them? You know those things that you use to catch bugs. You put the light on and they electrocute bugs. Yeah, Esau's getting caught like that, man. The Lord is electrocuting these damn bugs, these Edomites. Look at that. That's America's gonna be on fire, man. You crackers are in trouble, man. It's over for you devils. Get nostalgic as much as you want. Cry over the 80s, the 70s, the 50s. Watch AI videos of America in the 1800s, how the UK used to be in the 1800s or 1940s. Oh, migration has killed us. Motherfucker, if you left the world alone, your country would have been A-OK, but it wasn't meant to be. You crackers are born thieves and murderers, man. And rightfully so, you're being punished. And it's going to get worse for you. Ain't no good days or happy days coming back. You can might as well get high on that crack and cocaine and heroin and just, watch Leave It to Beaver. Is that what it's called? One of them fucking honky shows. And watch some old school honky show from the 1950s. That's why a lot of you Edomites want to live like 6-year-old girls. You leave your families to live like a 6-year-old girl. Why? Because you want to bury your head in the sand and go back to a time in your life where you thought things were easy. And life is on easy street for a 6-year-old so-called white girl. Her father's going to dote on her, give her everything she wants. She can cry and moan. She's still going to get the candy, right? That's what a lot of you Edomite. There was a story about that. An Edomite man left his seven children or something like that, and his wife to live as a 6-year-old girl. That's you Edomites are weird. It's over for you, man. I know I'm all over the place. It's over for you crackers, man. Okay, I'm excited about this shit, and I love it. All right, this is a prelude, man. All right, I've loosely paraphrased some scriptures. Let's read some now as well, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. New segment. I mean, I might be wrong. It's not really like just posted everywhere. It's like you got to really look for it deep down, But nevertheless, it was on CBS, and they had an Israelite reporter, man. I bet they're not going to tell that Israelite reporter, "Oh, yeah, you better get out of town before sundown." They're not going to say that to him while he's taking the news stories from people. Huh? There ain't no town left. There ain't no Sundown Town left. And one by one, you crackers are going to get it, man. Deuteronomy 30, verse 7. And the Lord, Yahweh Shemeshai, thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. All right, you persecuted us. Now you're being got. And this is not even full throttle anger towards you yet, you damn devils. Wait till Yahweh Shemeshai comes. Wait till Yahweh returns. Right? And the elect get changed. Then they come down out of the chariots, fully ready and girded up, man. Beautified, powerful. And the spirit power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai. Yahweh leading the way. Yeah? Wait till they grab a hold of you. Boy, you're going to get it, man. You are going to get that work. Quoting that brother from GMS, Get This Work. Who says it? Elder Apostle Gabar's words are used in a beautiful way. You know how Elder Prophet Manatazak Benyamin, has emphasizes the words. As Elder Apostle Gabar was saying, the spirit power of Yahweh Shemeshai, you're going to get that work, man. You're going to get that work. I believe it's Elder Apostle Gabar said it. Or one of the prophets anyway. But, the prophets are all one body, so it's okay. You're going to get that work, Esau. And this ain't nothing yet, all right? I'll read one more scripture because we're hitting 30 minutes. And, I don't want to make it too long. I've loosely paraphrased some scriptures, Ecclesiastes 3 and 2. Let's go to verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Didn't Esau say he's going to come back and build the desolate places? Yeah? And they were built. Even though Jacob built them, but they were built nonetheless. Ecclesiastes 3 and 2. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. It was your time to rule Esau, Edom, to be the whooping stick, right? Okay, it was your time to be lauded, to make yourself look like the Most High, to make yourself look like the Messiah, to make yourself look like the last Mohican, the native Indian, the Persian, the Israelite, the Chinese, to make yourself look like everybody else under the sun but who you really are, which is a devil, Esau, Edom. Okay, you paraded around being everybody else. All right, you were the hunk of the earth. All right, but now that is being washed away. The skirts are being lifted upon thy face. Loosely paraphrasing a scripture there. All right, showing the truth who you really are, and your time is coming to an end. Ecclesiastes 3:2. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. All right? The Lord is plucking up your kingdom, Esau, Edom. Your rulership is at an end. Okay? You better, those you honkies, Edomites out there, you heathens out there that are not Israelites. Now, if you have a good job at the moment, right? Or you just recently retired and your pension has come through and you're getting a good amount each month, while this pound UK pound euro dollar system is still corresponding, is still working. You can still use a cash point or the cash machine and use cash and use your credit and debit cards and buy cars and clothes and colognes and food and go to restaurants that are still open in your vicinity. You better enjoy it. Okay? If you're a fat, overweight, ugly Edomite, you got access to cash and you want to get laid, buy all the pussy you can. Buy all the exotic nigger women you can as well, no matter what package they come in. Buy them. Because you're not going to get access to that ever again. All right? I don't need to tell you to do that because you guys are doing that ghetto gaga shit with these whores anyway. All right? We've seen pictures of Israelite women online doing that. I won't even call them Israelite women. We call them ninja women, no matter what package they come in. All right? You better enjoy it. You better enjoy your white women. All right? You're losing them anyway. All right? You better enjoy what you have. Because what's coming next for you crackers and heathens is really bad. You low-level Edomites, you're finished. You're homeless, you're finished. All right? Ain't no way you're going to come up the ladder again. That's that for you. But you rich Edomites, you honkies, you Edomites, you heathens, you East Indians, you Moabites, Chinese, whatever, all you non-Israelites, you better live it up. You better live it up. Because it's done. It's over for you. All right? It is over for you. All praises, honor, glory, and blessings and power be to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash. Shalom. Shalom.